Bam, bam, bam. Welcome back. We're gonna continue where we left off, which is we're gonna plug all these holes. I've measured out and double checked, and one positive thing is that this seems to be right, and all of these are all slanted off. It's just a little bit, but they're all basically almost a mil, not really, 75% of a mil, slanted like this. What I think is that they cut they have some sort of machine and they cut this slot right here first, and then the neck got bumped or something, and the machine cut all the other without any adjustments, and so they got all mixed up. Now there are a lot of ways you could fill these. You could use some sort of, putty, synthetic wood, clay thingamajig. I don't know, I wouldn't recommend that. You can fill them with super glue and with, dust from tree, like sand dust. Will probably not look very nice, and it will shrink, and yeah, I wouldn't recommend you doing it. You do things the way you want to. If you have veneer, and especially if you have, veneer of a wood that is similar color, you could cut out small pieces and glue in. That's what I would have done, but I don't have any veneer. But I do have a lot of lollipop sticks, as you just saw. Yeah, it's because I eat about, this many a day. That's obviously a joke. I hope you don't actually believe me there. This is 22 sticks, just like the frets, and I'm actually gonna put them down on a plank and run them through my planer thicknesser, because these are about 2 mil thick or something like that, and I've measured the holes and they are 0.5 mil thick, and need to get these down to where they are basically thin enough. So yeah, I'm going to show you how I do that, but if you have some veneer, you could go with that. It's going to be easier than doing it this way. And hopefully the new frets will cover these. Okay, so I completely forgot to film this, but it wasn't that exciting, so hopefully you will forgive me. Here's a piece of wood, 2 pieces of wood actually glued together to make a perfect flat surface. And I put some double-sided tape on it, and I stuck all my lollipop sticks down to it, and I'm gonna press them down a little bit like this to just make sure that they are really on there, and hopefully they are. And this one wants to pop up, but maybe I can force it a little bit. Gonna run it through my planer thicknesser now and try to make them all become a little bit thinner. I am suspecting that this might not work, that I might have to figure out something else, but hopefully it will work, because I feel like these are sticking up a little bit and they might be torn up and fly away, but I don't know, let's pray that that doesn't happen. I got nothing. Yeah, we'll see. Basically is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to film pushing them through the planer thicknesser because I've filmed, me planing wood with it before, and none of those shots are really that good, and they never really show what I'm really doing in a good way that explains it well. You're just basically just seeing my hands moving a board. Kind of a meaningless thing to do, maybe. If you are curious about the planer thicknesser and you want me to do a video talking about, straightening up wood and making it ready, you can watch my how to make a guitar body blank video. There's a little bit of it in there, but otherwise, talk to me in the comments below, and I can make a video about that, because there isn't that much to say, but yeah, maybe it's important what little there is to say. So, not all of them survived, but hopefully you can see they're really thin now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these in. And because some of them didn't survive, I'm going to try to glue them in as far to the side like this, so that maybe I have enough material left so that I can cover another fret as well. So let's just jump into gluing some of these in. I won't film gluing in all of them, but a couple to see what happens. So a little bit of glue in the cavity, like so. And then we take our piece of wood and we just smack it in there, and it broke off, but that's actually okay because it got in there pretty well. And we can maybe even clean this up a little bit with a razor blade. Just move it up to one side and just let it pass along the fretboard, because the fretboard is okay, and that's where we're gonna play. So you can just carve it away from there. I'm not going to care that much about these ends because I am going to put on binding. But if you're not going to put on binding, you should be very careful and spend extra time making these edges look really nice. And once all of this has dried, we're going to sand it. But that's going to be in between this video and the next one. It looks kind of awful right now, but we're going to recut this and put a fret in there. And I hope that it will cover most of it. Obviously, if you have frets that are like 2 mils off or something like that, then I would say that you're going to have to do a really careful job with inlaying wood in the right orientation and really trying to find pieces that go together in a nice way. And it might actually even be better to just get a new neck or a new fretboard, because it could be really difficult to do. You could obviously, glue on a veneer or something, which I think I would have done if I didn't believe that I will be able to cover most of this up. I think that it will be a little bit wonky and weird if you're really close like this and you're really, really, really watching it to see for it. But if you're just holding the guitar in a natural way, far away from your face, I think it's going to be okay. So I'm just going to glue in a couple of more frets. So some of these are not working for me because they're a little bit uneven. The trying to make all of them the same thickness didn't really work out. So I'm widening these slots just a tiny bit. And I know that this is maybe not the correct kind of blade to use, but it doesn't really matter because it's just, like 1/3 of a mil or something that I need widening, and this blade has the right thickness. And now I can fit them in, and I just need some glue, and I try to get as much as I can in there and let it squeeze out. Just take this and I press it in, and because it's snug and tight, I'll need a hammer to just bang it in the last bit. And it doesn't look that great, but hopefully once we sand it and even everything's out a little bit, it would look nicer. Okay, so all of the fret slots are now covered. And I know it looks messy. I think it looks messy too. You can tell me in the comments below that you think it looks messy too. The thing is, this definitely needs to be leveled and sanded again. So I'm gonna wait for the glue to dry 1 hour, 2 hours. I don't know. I'm gonna go and do something else for a bit and then come back to make everything look as nice as I possibly can do it. I'm not sure it's gonna turn out great, but we'll see. I hope the new frets will cover this, because again, the slot and the fret are just ever so slightly in the wrong place. And just because I want to say this, I sort of get a kick out of doing these things. It's like a challenge. If you're not like that and you kind of not liking, doing work on your guitars, there's nothing wrong with buying a new neck. Or if you've bought the guitar, tell the manufacturer, that you want a replacement. Those are better ways to do it, I would say. This is what I kind of think is fun. It's just the challenge part. It's the same reason why I made the video where I relicked a poly guitar. The how I relic a poly guitar, or whatever I called it. It's been a long time since I made that video, but it was just because I saw a bunch of people talking online about how you can't do that, because it's like, oh, you can't do it, it will never look good. And I decided, hey, I'll try it. And it's the same thing with the Behringer pedal. Everyone was saying it online that you can't do it. And so I decided that I was going to figure it out. And it's the same thing with this. People will say that, oh, you can't do this, but you can do this. I know I'm not the first person to do it. That's not what I'm trying to claim. What I'm trying to say is, like, if you like doing these sort of things and if you enjoy the work and it's something that you want to do it. But if it's not something you want to do, don't. There's nothing bad about like buying a replacement neck. We might actually even end up doing that if if that's what it takes, or if that's where this guitar is going. Anyway, that's the end of this video. The neck looks really, really bad right now, but I'll come back and sand it, and well, hopefully it will look nicer. In the next video, we're gonna route the binding, and the reason why we're gonna do that next is because we need these edges here solid so that we don't get tear out when the router cuts it away. But I'll talk more about that in the next video. So thanks so much for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to press the subscribe button. That helps me out, and it's always nice to know that the channel is growing. Until next time, stay awesome and cool, and go and fill the slots of that neck that you pulled all the frets out of. You can actually make a fretless guitar that way. I wouldn't recommend it because it's usually, you should have something better, like, you know, Wenge or something as the wood. Yeah, maybe one day I'll show you my fretless guitar. It's really, really cool. But until then, bye!